Hi, Sandy here. I'm going to play for a while. I love making embellishments. I haven't made a lot of embellishments, but I'm going to try to make more. This is one of my embellishments I have made. And I love making tags. Tags and borders are my obsession. I need to make more embellishments. This is what I have made. I like to make them with just full of things and use up all of my little loose things that accumulate. I like to add these little scraps of paper on the side just to, you know, so they're not and I like to add buttons and things, and I make them out of, this is an old calendar. So there's one of my tags, and here's one of my borders. I like to download pictures off Pinterest and print them, and they make great subjects for my tags and borders. But today I'm going to try to use up things that have accumulated and not so many of these beautiful pictures. But I stick with one color mostly because I've gathered up all my blue today. I'm going to play with blue because if I got everything it's just too much. When I make borders for like I just made some dog borders and tags for my dog scrapbooks, and those can be any color, and so I've got all my stuff gathered together and it's just kind of overwhelming. So I prefer to stick with one color, and this is, I added some pink, but it's basically mostly black. So I stick with one color, and I have gone through my scraps. I only do 8.5 by 11 pages, so I end up with a lot of strips trimmed down from my when I cut down a 12 by 12 print piece of scrapbook paper. I end up with a lot of strips, so I have glued them onto these. My favorite size, these are all 11 inches, not 12. You would make yours 12 if you do 12 by 12. My favorite size is 2 3/4. I like them 2.5 to 3 inches, but mostly 2 3/4. So I've got all of these. I call them my border bases, and sometimes I use them as is, but I like to decorate them. So here's my border bases. And then I use my scraps, and I use old cereal boxes, the covers from paper pads, all kinds of things. And this is Kleenex box right here, this print. I think this is Kleenex box too. But my favorite size is 3 by 5, and here I've glued on some colored strips of blue. I added a stripe to that one. That actually looks purple. Purple and blue kind of, and then aqua and blue I keep together. I think this is Kleenex too. I'm not sure. So I've got all these tags that I've covered with scrapbook paper. I do a lot of these too. These are from the top side of paper and paper pad, that extra little bit you get on there sometimes. So I've got all these. And then I've got some smaller sizes that I've made. Because sometimes when you got that cereal box, you got scraps that are not my favorite size, but then, well, I make something smaller, and then these I can make some embellishments out of. I want to use up more of these. So I've got those. And then I've got, like I said, I like to add these to my tags and borders. So I've got all these little small blue scraps. And then I like to add buttons. There's some gemstones, silk flowers, And I got some foam stickers, trying to get those used up. Those are from my daughter was younger, and I've used a lot of them. Some flowers, just various things. These. I try to be very frugal, and I don't buy a lot of expensive things. But these are my assortment of things to glue on. And then I don't do Project Life, but I buy these 12 by 12 cut apart sheets from Scrapbooking for Less. I have several of this size. I don't really know what I want to do with those. I do glue books sometimes, so they can go in there. And these are like bases that I can make into tags that I can decorate. These frames, I never use frames. I'm going to try to get those used up. This is a spirograph thing my daughter made. And this is part of a border. I only used part of it. And then I've got these, not that one. I've got these that I've started decorating, and they're not quite doing it for me yet. I'm going to see what I can do with those, make them a little more interesting. This I like, I guess. But I want to decorate these a little more. And then I've got this foam heart I want to get used up. And these can be subjects for tags. This is nice. This is a good subject for a tag. Just use this stuff up. And then I have a lot of these that I like to make tags that I don't do it enough, but I need to make more tags that you can write on, you know, and add them to your page and write something about the photo on there. You know, you don't have to write on all the lines. You can write happy 10th birthday on there, or, you know, something like that. Or autumn 2018, whatever. So, and then I have all of these small things. These would make some good subjects for some embellishments and stuff. And then I have all of these little things too that I can make embellishments with. I actually glued a bunch of strips together one time and made these. I thought they'd be good for embellishments, and I need to get those used up. I had some glitter paper that just sat, 12 by 12 sheets. They just sat for years, and so I cut some into long strips to make some border bases. That's my fire alarm. I think the humidity set it off, actually. So I'm going to use, I cut little circles, and then I had some vellum paper, this clear stuff, and so I cut that up too to use it up. I got these small things. These would make good bases for embellishments. This is one of my border bases that I had made, but instead of using it this way on the page, I used it this way, so then I had this extra. So that would be good for a embellishment base. So I've got all these things to play with, and I'm going to basically stick with blue. So let's see, what can I make? I'm lost already. No. Okay. Oh, and one more thing. I also have, this is my book of words. Whenever I get sticker pages, I forgot this too. Whenever I get sticker pages, I cut them all apart, and I sort them by color. And I just recently got some new ones. I just dropped them into this plastic bag that I keep them in. So I've got a lot of blue stickers here to work with. and so I can play with those. I've got all these foam stickers. So that's what I can play with. So anyway, I kind of put my stickers and I put them on these sheets and have them all sorted by color, because that's the way I work. And then the words like Christmas and Halloween, those go in my, I keep everything Christmas all together. Christmas scraps, Christmas stickers, Christmas everything. Christmas is all together. So the Christmas words go there, not in this book. Birthday words, same thing, all of it's together. This is basic everyday words that I've sorted by color, because that's how I work. I've got this blue section. Oh, some of these would make good embellishment things too. So I can use blue words. I can use black words or brown words too. There's about a... So I'm going to get started making some embellishments. I like to add words to most of my embellishments. So where do I start? I'm going to do this in kind of fast motion so you don't get bored. Well, I'm done playing with my blue scraps and stuff. I still got tons more stuff, but I put a little dent in it. This is one of my tags. I've had this big old foam heart for a while, so I stuck that on there. Follow your heart. Just added a few little things. I started out with this tag, today's beautiful moments are tomorrow's beautiful memories. It's kind of vintage looking, so I found these two vintage figurines here. And then I added this filigree, whatever you would call it, and this flower, and just added a few buttons and embellishments. This one I started out with this graphic 45 thing, and I remember the past for the future. That's vintage looking. And this is like old-fashioned camera. I added my little scraps here on the side and some embellishments. This was a tag that I had. I didn't want to just use it plain, so sometimes I decorate the borders with tags. So I put this tag on there. I added this angel, this little filigree, past, present, future memories it says, and I added a bunch of rhinestones. I started out with this picture, Sweet Love. It's got the birds with the baby birds, and I added this balloon and a butterfly and my little scraps, including some glitter, flower, and just some things. And I made some tags. I kind of need more things that I can write on. I've got a lot of nice decorated tags, and I use them, but sometimes I need to write stuff about my page. So I made this one. This was a sticker, and I got my scraps on there and added some details. This is a really pretty card. I can write on that. Added some rhinestones and buttons and the scraps. This one I used a round. I had a round piece of paper, and I had glued it previously to just a piece of colored paper for a background. I added the scraps. This I can write something on, joys, a bird, and the embellishments. This one I had made a while back. It had this. It's a very large tag. I had the bird on there and I had this on there, but it just wasn't doing it for me. So I added this that I can write something on, and the butterfly and the flower and the button. And I like that better now. This is one that I can write on. I just added the scraps and a little tab thing and the flower. This is another one of those pre-printed tags, and I glued it to a piece of background paper, and I just added a filigree inspiring an old ticket and some shiny things. This one I started with this girl, added my little scraps and a little gold glitter filigree, a key, and a flower. This one I started with something to write on, and I had worked on this one before, and I just had the square with these on it, because I like to customize everything. Sometimes I use them as is, but I like to customize and make them my own. So I put it on a tag, and I added my little scraps, and I added this and a couple of buttons. These three tags, they were square, so I took my little corner rounder and I snipped them all with rounded corners, and that was a big improvement right there. And I just added some little embellishments to liven them up a little bit. This one I had worked on before. I added these, and it just wasn't doing it for me, so I added these little scraps, and then I drew dotted stitching around the edge. So that's better now. This one I had added this on there, and it still wasn't doing it for me, so I added a smile, says it's a beautiful day, some sparkly button things, and I drew the stitching around it. This one I had made previously, and I just rounded the corners. And I think that's all it needs. Yeah, I'm happy with that one now. This one, I had a scrapbooking catalog, and this was a sample of something you could make, and I cut it out of that scrapbooking catalog. And then I put it on the tag and added this little tag that says wonderful, and then these two flowers. And this is the same thing. I cut this out of a scrapbooking catalog. Added the scraps and a few embellishments. This I had, and then I had this starburst thing, and it's a sticker, and when I peel it off, there won't be any gold. I can peel it off of the sticker like this. And I added a flower. It says happiness. This too was out of the scrapbooking catalog. I added the scraps and a butterfly. It says beautiful, and a foam heart. This one, added some glitter and a sticker and a ticket and a button. And this one, eat, drink, scrap. I've had these words for quite a while, and I've had this one. It says I love scrapbooking very faintly on the background. I actually had printed this tag from Pinterest or somewhere. It's a little teddy bear scrapbooking. It just wasn't doing it for me, so I had glued it onto a background sheet of paper, colored paper, and cut it out, and it just still wasn't enough. So then I found these scissors, and you can barely see there's a ladybug right here, and I kind of covered up. So I added another ladybug. I had a whole sheet of stickers of all these little ladybugs, so I'm trying to use them, because what are you going to use ladybugs for? So I put them in with my red little embellishments, and so they're easy to find, and I try to get those used up. So I'm going to try to use that. This one, this was printed on here, so I added this that said Simply Fabulous, and two little flowers to pick up the yellow and the pink. This one, I started with this, and I added the little banner thing and a heart, foam heart. It says always remember. This is a little embellishment. Got this little doll holding a little bunny. I added a circle and drew stitching on it. Added a foam heart and a flower. Cherish this moment. This one was the end of my pre-made border bases that I make. Instead of using it this way, I used it this way on my 8.5 by 11 page, so I had this square left over. So I added this that I can write something on, and a butterfly, and these little foam dots, just using this stuff up. And a button. This one I had made previously. This was printed on here. I had the card, and I added the star and giggle, and it just wasn't doing it for me. So today I rounded the corners, and I added this tag and the foam star. So that's better, I think. And this is another one of those pre-made borders that I make, that I used horizontally instead of vertically, and so I added this sticker. It's kind of a 3D sticker with some buttons. It says live with passion. This is that card board, the thick cardboard, and this was all printed on here. I added the 3 sequins on each side, and the happiness. This one I had made previously. I put the little zigzaggy stripe on there, wavy stripe, and this wasn't doing it for me. So I added this little banner with the butterfly and memories, and I can write something on there. This one came like this. It came with the butterflies on it. I used one of my little circles that I made that I glued a lot of little strips to, and glued it onto that at an angle. It kind of picks up the colors, so that's good. I added the button and the flower, and adorable. This one I had previously made. I already had the adorable on here and these two flowers, and I left plenty of room to write something, or I just wasn't doing it. So I added this so I can write something on there, and I got a little butterfly on it. This one, I just added this smile thing, circle, and then I added this 3D sticker, and then I punched a hole in it. This is just a little tiny tag, and I added this thick sticker and you and me, and they kind of, the colors go good together. This was a printed tag, had the flower printed on it. It needed a little something, so I added the heart. This tag got day of the week, and I just, it's kind of a little calendar, but I don't think I'd ever use it like that. So I added love and this bling. And this little one, I added the bling butterfly, hello sunshine, and the heart. These three, all I did was attach a foam flower sticker to it. No writing on it or anything. Those are cute. And then these two, these are thick butterfly and bug, and I'm happy and hello. So those are my blue embellishments and tags and borders I made today. I had previously made these two. Well, they came printed like this, and I added these buttons on here and these flowers on here, picking up these. It's your lucky day. I don't think I can do much more with those. So those are ready to go. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Goodbye.